Welcome to Greasy Popcorn's presentation of One Got Fat, a 1963 traffic safety film starring 10 perky boys and girls, 9 of whom wear monkey masks on their faces and extension cords out there, well, you'll see, for the entire movie. Please take a moment to pity the casting director who had to explain all of that to the parents of these aspiring young actors. And if you have Pithecophobia, go ahead, look it up. We'll all wait. While this hygiene film may not be for you. One Got Fat was written and directed by Dale Jennings, author of The Cowboys, and is narrated by Everett Horton of F Troop and Bullwinkle's Fractured Fairy Tales fame. Max Hutto was the director of photography, while Ralph Hulett was the movie's talented art director. Family members of Hutto and Hulett played some of the monkey kids. Storyline. One bright, sunny day, 10 kids decide to grab a picnic lunch from their respective homes, then make their way to a nearby park for a quiet afternoon. Alas, their adventure hits 2 snags immediately. They only have 8 bicycles between them. Moss B. Pomegranate, yes, that's his real name, supposedly, had his bike stolen recently, while another monkey kid named Trigby Phipps broke his bike, supposedly due to his, corpulent physique. No, he's not why the movie's titled One Got Fat. There's a twist at the end that explains all that. One Got Fat is an allegory, albeit one that was way out there. Each monkey kid falls prey to his own specific failure to abide by the rules of bicycle road safety. But we're pretty sure that more than a few kids who watched this dark hygiene film had nightmares about the characters in this movie and what became of each monkey kid. For example, Rudy Toot Jasperson, or just Rudy to his monkey kid friends, failed to make the proper hand signals and drove into ongoing traffic while turning left at an intersection. Yikes! Next up, Tinkerbell McDillinfitty, or Tink, ignored a stop sign, resulting in her being hit by a large truck. Yep, that will ruin your day. Another monkey kid, this one named Philip Flugel, drives his bicycle on the left side of the street between parked cars and oncoming traffic. He met his sad fate when a distracted driver pulled out of a parking space and hit him. Yes, it's all rather terrifying. Monkey kids are dropping like, dead flies on a windowsill. Moss B. Pomegranate, he's the one who had his bike stolen, was forced to run alongside the gang until his shoes started smoking. Slim Jim McGuffney, the monkey kid who broke his bike, rides on the handlebars of his friend, Trigby Phipps, who can't see around Slim Jim's massive backside. Predictably, at least for this movie, they both fall into an open manhole in the street. No picnic lunch for them either. Nelbert Zweiback rode on the sidewalk, illegal in many jurisdictions, where her failure to yield the right-of-way caused her to collide with 2 innocent women carrying groceries. Filbert Bagel didn't maintain his bicycle's brakes and other safety equipment. When a steamroller came down the street, as they do all the time in small towns, poor Bagel was flattened. The last monkey kid, Stanislaw Hickenbottom, or Stan to his friends, wasn't bright enough to have lights or reflectors on his bicycle. When he rode into a dark tunnel, he became invisible. He collides with something in the tunnel, or it collides with him. The film is a bit vague on the exact situation because he can't be seen. So, what happened to the 10th kid, the one who obeyed all the traffic safety rules and actually made it to the park? What became of all the monkey kids who couldn't be bothered to follow the rules? And what happened to all those lunch bags full of delicious liverwurst and tuna sandwiches sitting in the hot summer sun? You can find the answers to these and many other questions by enjoying Greasy Popcorn's presentation of One Got Fat, coming up next.
This story is about 10 rather close relations of ours who seem to get into almost exactly the same kind of trouble we do. All 10 of these jolly characters lived in the same neighborhood and were all good friends, generally speaking. Each of them had a bicycle, and each took care of his bicycle in exactly the way he took care of himself. One day they held a group think and decided to have a picnic in a little park just 9 blocks away. Now that doesn't sound far, but a lot can happen in 9 blocks, right? Well, sound off out there. I said right? Right. So they all ran home and made themselves sandwiches. I know that doesn't sound too likely, but of course, human. Then they hurried back, all ready to go. Now, one of the 10 was a rather hungry type. His name was Slim Jim McGupney, and his picnic lunch was what you might call a portable banquet, right? Right. Slim knew that his big sack would be hard to handle, so he asked Orville Slump if he'd carry it for him. Orville had a basket on the rear of his bike. He was a good sort, and he answered, okay. Some of the others noticed this and asked him if he'd carry theirs, too. Orville answered graciously, well, I guess so. And naturally, everybody else did the same until Orville's rear basket looked like a chuck wagon. At last, they were ready to go, and at a given signal, they went. Now this is Rooty Toot Jasperson. He had the newest bike in the bunch, and he was as proud of it as he could be. He made it a point to get in the lead, and there he intended to stay. It would seem that Rooty Toot was a slam-bang go-getter headed for big things in life, right? Right. But when you have to be first all the time, there are a few things you find you don't have time for. Such things as making hand signals. Oh, he knew very well that bike riders are supposed to signal just like auto drivers. Hand down for slow or stop. Hand up for right turn. Hand straight out for left turn. But pretty soon, he began to feel silly making so many signals to stay out in front. So he skipped one to rest his poor old tired arm. Just one signal, once. At this point, Rooty Toot Jasperson left the party. This charming little thing was actually christened Tinkerbell McDillingfiddy. She's a sweet and lovely girl, but she has a rather poor memory. Sometimes she forgets to brush her teeth. Sometimes she leaves homework at home. And sometimes she forgets to look at traffic signals. Now she knows that she should. She knows that she should ride just like auto drivers drive. But she's so busy being happy all the time that her little thoughts tend to wander and... Oh, dear, dear, they're wandering again. Here she goes. Exit Tinkerbell McDillingfiddy. She forgot now and then. Now, let me introduce Philip Flugel. He's a star athlete, the president of his class, an honor student, and he has the handsomest profile in school. Just look at it, will you? Now, Flug, as his friends call him, has one little flaw in his character. He is very easily bored. Right now, he's asking himself why everyone has to go up this side of the street. It's so samey. So, proving that even a class president can make mistakes, he decided to ride against traffic. Oh, he knows that auto drivers never do this, and that he should follow the very same traffic rules. But he's in the mood to do something different. Anyway, there are no policemen around to see him. Philip Flugel is no longer bored. You've probably wondered about this fellow on foot. Well, his name is Mosby Pomegranate. He is splendid in dramatics, but he works so hard memorizing his lines that he doesn't get around to a lot of other things. He never made it down to register his bike and get a license for it. He knows very well that a license makes it easy to find out who he is if he's in an accident, and makes the bike easy to trace if it's lost or stolen. That's his trouble. Last week, while he was rehearsing the lead in King Kong, someone rode off with his bike. He went to the police, but of course they couldn't help him since it had no license or registration. He stomped out of the police station angrily, and he's been stomping ever since. Farewell, Mosby Pomegranate, victim of fallen arches. If you look carefully, you'll see Trigby Phipps. He's the smaller one in Eclipse, trying to make that bike go. His passenger is an old friend of ours, Slim Jim McGuffney. Slim Jim's bike recently collapsed from the effects of his diet, and Trigby, being a nice little fellow, agreed to ride him. Now, he knows that no auto driver would drive with a passenger in his lap. He also knows that you can't see ahead very well with someone on the handlebars, and that you can't control the bike well, and that you can't make signals either. Furthermore, it is tiring. Right? Right. So long, fellas. There seems to be a flaw in the buddy system. Meet Nellie Swybach. She's as nice as can be on foot. But when she gets on that bike, sweet Nellie becomes terribly impatient with other people's driving. Although there are only a few left now, she's having trouble sharing the street with them. So Nelbert is about to make a decision she'd never make if she weren't angry. There she goes. There she goes. She knows that riding on the sidewalk isn't allowed in her city and many others, and that even where it is, pedestrians always have the right of way. But Nelbert's upset, and she'd like to know just one good reason why she shouldn't take over the sidewalk all to herself. Nelbert Zweiback got her one good reason. Those noise transportation of Filbert Bagel. Filbert hates his old bike. He refuses to take care of it because his folks will probably give him a new one for his birthday. He can't see any reason for taking care of a heap of junk, even if he made it that way himself. He will in a moment, though. You see, he doesn't know it, but he'll find out that there's not a shred of a brake left. Now, Filbert would be the first to agree that if it's worth riding, it's worth taking care of. Right? Right. Quickly meet Stanislaw Higginbottom while you can. He's a nice boy, but he won't be with us long. You are now looking straight at Stanislaw Higginbottom. He has neither lights nor reflectors. Stanislaw just wasn't quite bright enough. All of which leaves Orville. He'll get fat, all right. And here's why he ended up with all these groceries that he doesn't really want. This was Rooty Toot Jasperson. Maybe you remember why he didn't make the picnic. He didn't signal, just once. Do you recall Tinkerbell McDillingfiddy? She forgot to watch the signals, just once. And good old Phil Flugel, he rode up the wrong side of the street, once. Mosby Pomegranate was the walking one. He didn't get around to registering his bike and getting a license. It would have taken him only a few minutes. The small one was Trigby Phipps, and his passenger was Slim Jim McGuffney. They rode double into trouble. Who can forget Nelbert Swyback? She wanted to know one good reason why the sidewalks didn't belong to her. Then there was Filbert Bagel. He didn't take care of his brakes, so they didn't take care of him. And good old Stanislaw Higginbottom, no lights, no reflector, no Stanislaw. So that's why Orville Slump is picnicking alone today. He watched the signals, he obeyed traffic signs, he made hand signals, he rode alone, he stayed on the right side of the street, got a license, rode just like auto drivers drive, and kept the brakes and all in good condition. And he got fat. Of course, it was very lonely, but not as lonely as this. But then, as anyone can plainly see, he wasn't a monkey, right? Now, that sounds as if you really mean it, right?
So, how did you like Greasy Popcorn's presentation of One Got Fat? Please let us know in the comment section below. Copyright release notes. We believe One Got Fat is in the public domain because it was released in 1963 and has been identified by the Internet Archive as being free of copyright. The copyright registrations of many films made during this period, including One Got Fat, were not renewed by the studio, in this case, interlude films, as required under applicable U.S. law. As a consequence, this film has slipped into the public domain. If you have concerns about this public domain claim and you have standing in this matter, please contact us, and we will revisit this decision and possibly remove this film from YouTube and our catalog. Thanks, and please remember to hit like and subscribe so you can watch new movies in the Greasy Popcorn collection as soon as we make them. Bye for now, and remember to keep watching out for monkey kids driving around your town, not obeying the traffic safety rules, and missing their lunch.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.